During the chaotic late Ming Dynasty, war raged everywhere. General Wu Sangui, stationed in Liaodong, encountered a fortune teller. The fortune teller gazed at him for a long time, sighing repeatedly. Before parting, he presented him with a cryptic poem. Wu Sangui pondered the poem over and over, but could not grasp its meaning. Upon reading it, his wife, Chen Yuanyuan, was struck by a sudden change in expression, gasping for air and remaining speechless for a long time. The story of a man utterly mad for a woman is well known. It said that Wu Sangui led the Qing army that into the Shanhai Pass for her, leading to the fall of the dynasty. Chen Yuanyuan was thus labeled a woman of misfortune, a reputation she bore. However, she was, in reality, a woman with a tragic fate. Her original name was not Chen Yuanyuan, but Chen Yuanyuan. She came from a merchant family. Although her father was not a wealthy businessman, he managed to support the family through small businesses, leading to a relatively stable life. Unfortunately, fate was unpredictable, and she lost both her parents at a young age. Thanks to her aunt's care, her parents were able to be buried, taking pity on her orphanage. Her aunt adopted her as her daughter. Since her adoptive father's surname was Chun, she changed it to Chen Yuanyuan, henceforth known as Chen Yuanyuan. At first, the Chen family was able to make ends meet, with her adoptive father managing the land and property left by the Xing family. They could have lived a comfortable life. However, her adoptive father was incompetent and lazy, squandering the family fortune within a few years. With creditors demanding repayment, her adoptive father, left with no other options, set his sights on his adopted daughter. Luckily, Chen Yuanyuan possessed a gifted talent. Not only did she sing melodiously, but she also possessed a profound understanding of music, calligraphy, and painting. She quickly rose to prominence in the local area, becoming a renowned artist. However, the opera world of ancient times was very different from today's. Actors not only had to possess exceptional skills, but also had to contend with the harassment and flirtation of the powerful. The wealthy young men who frequented the brothels, impressed by her beauty and talent, often flirted with her. Because of this, Chen Yuanyuan's fame spread far and wide, and she became a highly sought-after courtesan that in the Jiangnan region. Among her many admirers was a wealthy young man named Zhou Shu, who frequently performed in opera troupes and was generous with his money. Unlike other frivolous and dissolute young men, he was more restrained and rarely offended. Chen Yuanyuan, touched by his sincerity, gradually fell in love with him, viewing him as someone she could trust. However, the Zhou family was a prominent Jiangnan family with strict family rules. Upon learning of their son's close relationship with a courtesan, they immediately reprimanded him and ordered him to sever all ties. Heartbroken, Chen Yuanyuan wept day and night, but she was unable to win him back. A few years later, the son of a county magistrate fell in love with her and redeemed her for 3.000 taels of silver, taking her as his concubine. At the time, concubines held a very low status, requiring them to pay their respects to the wife daily and facing expulsion if they misbehaved. As expected, her striking beauty sparked that intense jealousy from the wife, who ultimately divorced her and expelled her from the family home. Left without support, she reclaimed her pipa and returned to the opera world, earning a living by performing. She subsequently pursued several romantic relationships, but all ended in failure. During this period, natural disasters plagued the Central Plains, leading to unrest, peasant uprisings, rampant banditry, and the displacement of the populace. Tian Hongyu's daughter was a concubine of Emperor Chongzhen, but she had aged and fallen out of favor. To regain the emperor's favor, he searched for beautiful women from Jiangnan to present to the palace. Chen Yuanyuan had long been renowned, and he had long heard of her beauty, but had never been able to woo her. After capturing her, he immediately ordered her to be brought to the capital, intending to present her to the imperial court. Chen Yuanyuan, believing her fate would change, was surprised to learn that after entering the palace for 3 entire months, she was not summoned to the palace, nor even seen the emperor. This is understandable. At the time, the Ming dynasty was in turmoil, and Chongzhen, preoccupied with state affairs, had little time for beauty. 3 months later, she was deported by imperial decree. Nominally, she was returning home, but in reality, she was simply returning to Tian Hongyu's residence. She continued to live as a singing girl, playing the qin and performing music. Although Tian Hongyu was unable to offer her to the emperor, he was unwilling to let such a precious talent go unnoticed. Instead, he considered Wu Sangui, who commanded a large army and held a powerful position in Liaodong. He ordered her to dress up beautifully and perform at a banquet. Wu Sangui was immediately captivated by her beauty, and Tian Hongyu seized the opportunity. That very night, he sent her to Wu's residence, along with a generous dowry. Their marriage blossomed, and Chen Yuanyuan finally experienced the warmth and stability she had long missed. However, the good times were short-lived. Before the south could be pacified, the Qing army from the north had already deployed its troops beyond the Great Wall and launched a massive invasion southward. One day, Wu Sangui was ordered to the palace, tasked with defending Shanhaiguan against the enemy. Reluctant to leave, he appeared lost in thought. On his way home, he encountered a fortune teller. They engaged in a long conversation, and the fortune teller left him a poem before departing. Unable to grasp the meaning of the poem since childhood, Wu Sangui took it home. After reading it, Chen Yuanyuan pondered for a moment. her expression changing dramatically. The poem's opening line that a mouth in the sky that hinted at the character for Wu. The second line that a green ape that was thought-provoking. Given that it was the year of the monkey, could this hint at the impending Qing invasion? And the third line that the green ape cries but survives. A horse will neigh twice. The character horse plus 2 mouths to form the character for curse. Could this foretell the imminent arrival of the Qing army? Overwhelmed with emotion, she repeatedly urged Wu Sangui to exercise caution as they bid him farewell. A few months later, the prophecy came true. Li Zicheng captured Beijing. Zhongjin hanged himself at Jingshan, and she was also captured. To save her, Wu Sangui resolutely led the Qing army into the Shanhai Pass and opened it. In the end, although the two of them were able to save their lives, the Central Plains that had already been ceded to the Qing dynasty